Hi, my name is Jari Vilén. I'm the Ambassador and Senior Advisor for the Arctic in the European Commission, in EPSC, European Policy Strategy Center, which is working for the President Juncker. And how did I end up here in the Commission? We are now in the 12th floor of the Commission. I think the story starts in last summer in Strasbourg, when I was finishing my tour of duty as EAS Ambassador for the Council of Europe, and I get a phone call from President Juncker's cabinet telling that the President is coming to have a farewell visit to Strasbourg and to meet the Secretary General of the Council of Europe and also me. Well, he came and we had a very pleasant meeting and we had time to discuss with each other. And in that discussion we went through the whole world, everything what happens in the Europe, and of course Finnish things, Finnish politics, coming Finnish EU presidencies. And the President also find out that I'm actually from Lapland. I've been serving for 2 terms as the member of the Parliament for Finland in the Lapland. I've been very active in the Arctic and Nordic matters in my previous career. And that's it. Then suddenly, 1 month later in August, I get the phone call saying that there would be an offer for me to come to work for the European Commission specializing for the Arctic policy matters. And now I am here. But to be on more serious note, I think the reason that the President and his service decided to offer this kind of unique opportunity to me lies with the fact that Finland has been extremely active in the Arctic policies for decades. I think that one of the founding fathers, if I may say so, for the whole European Northern and Arctic policy has been the Prime Minister Lipponen, in which government I also serve as a Minister for the European Affairs. And of course the fact that Finnish EU presidency is coming, and I would presume and I would sincerely hope that Finland will keep the Arctic very high profile also in the presidency program, has been the reasons behind the fact that the Finnish diplomat and Finnish previous politician has been chosen for these tasks. And my main duty and responsibility is to write the think tank paper for the future EU Commission, which will try to orientate, which will try to ask the questions that what the next Commission should do with the Arctic, which I think importance is gradually growing everywhere in Europe, and which awareness is also growing inside the Commission and other member states. And what my work contains at the moment, what is the substance of my work? I'm trying to have an active dialogue inside the Commission services, because what actually I've been found out in the few months' time that I've been doing my duty is that there's a lot of ongoing in the Commission and European Union Arctic, actually more than I could even imagine before. Most of the services of the EU has something to do with the Arctic, whether it concerns about research, whether it concerns about mobility, whether it concerns about environment protection, or even the business activities, etc. What I'm trying to do is to collect all of this data and information which are somewhere there, but I think before it has not been really collected as a comprehensive package. Then I'm also having an active dialogue with our member states, those member states especially which are located in the north and in the Arctic, but also our partners. For example, I just came back from Norway when I had a chance to talk with the Norwegian government members, foreign minister, and in the foreign ministry. And I realized that for the Norway, nothing is more important than the Arctic, the northern dimension, the northern direction on their policy. And actually soon I'm going to the Iceland, which will be taking over the Finland Arctic Council presidency in May, and taking it for 2 years before the presidency will be moving to the, let's say, more challenging European Union partner, to Russia. And after I have collected all of this data and after I have been having these consultations, or I think today you should call them hearing, because the hearing is now the phrase in the Europe. When I've been having this hearing tour, then of course starts the work, which means the writing the text and preparing the text. And my ambition is that by the beginning of May, just before the European Parliament elections, we would have this policy paper available, all of those who are interested in as being published as part of the EPSC publications. And I sincerely hope and wish that the candidates for the European Parliament would be interested to read it and hopefully carry it through to their campaign, and if and when they are elected, maybe also taking with them when they are starting their work in the European Parliament and challenging the new Commission and new Commission program. If you would have to summarize in 3 words what's going on in the Arctic and what are the challenges in the Arctic, the easy answer would be saying climate change, and climate change. But it's a bit more than just the climate change. I think the climate change is truly a profound challenge in the Arctic, as it is for the whole European Union. I would like to quote what President Sauli Niinistö said in the Arctic Council meeting in Rovaniemi at the end of the last year. I think he said very wise words which is carrying through my work too. He said that if we lose the Arctic, we lose the rest of the world. And I think this is really the motivation and motto of my work, that we have to stop the climate change, and the worst and first effects of the climate change actually being seen and felt in the Arctic. Therefore the Arctic is so crucial also in fighting against the climate change. But you can't do that only in Arctic. The fact is that you can fight the climate change only on the global arena, which means that we have to be active in international treaties. And of course for the Arctic, as in most of the world, the challenges come from the faraway countries. Most of the black carbon emissions that comes to Arctic actually comes from the India and from the China, and from the emissions that they have from the traffic and factories and heating in there. So fighting Arctic climate change is also the fight the climate change in India and China. The second thing which I would raise up is of course the connectivity in the Arctic, because Arctic is a place where people have to work, and people want to work, and people want to live, and we have to create the conditions that they have a similar kind of challenges, similar kind of opportunities, and similar kind of possibilities to prosper and live there, which means that you have to have a possibilities to work there, you have to have access to the information, you have to have a, for example, internet connection which is as fast as in university in Helsinki or Oulu, and you also have the chance to sustainable manner to utilize the natural resource in there. So you have to be able to explore the minerals, the gas and oil, but you have to find the way of doing that in a sustainable manner. And in that way I would say that Arctic is also a laboratory for the future, how to have the green economy and how to have the blue economy that the world and Europe needs today. And maybe third specific element that I would raise in the challenges in Arctic. Arctic has a unique indigenous people and population, and how to secure their future, how to secure their success and their livelihood is also one of the challenges that also the European Union as a union and union member state has to face in the future. So I would say climate change, innovations, green economy, blue economy, and also the challenges and responsibilities that we have towards indigenous people are one of the package that we have in there. And of course with this package you can multiply, I mean, it will expand the other elements that you have in there, and you can find other issues. Just raise one a question like health. Climate change is also a question of the health, and the health is not just about the decisions you think about, but it's also about the mental health. How to survive in the north, which is cold, which is dark many times and many months of the year. Because if you don't have a snow, you have just more and more darkness. So climate change is also part of the health and questions of the health for the people's survivability in there.